ESPN just dropped a bombshell ranking that completely destroys every narrative you've heard about the New York Knicks' future. While everyone's been talking about their salary cap problems and lack of draft picks, NBA insiders rank them as the third best franchise outlook in the entire league, third behind only Oklahoma City and Houston. And honestly, the more you dig into why they rank them so high, the more you realize that worrying about the Knicks' future might be completely overrated. What's going on, basketball fans? The narrative around the Knicks has been pretty consistent. They're this fragile contender that mortgaged their future, spent themselves into salary cap hell, and are one injury away from everything falling apart. But ESPN's panel of NBA insiders just completely shattered that narrative with a ranking that has the Knicks sitting at number 3 overall for their 3-year outlook. Let me break down exactly why this ranking makes perfect sense and why everyone who's been worried about New York's future might need to completely rethink their position. So here's how ESPN ranked the Knicks across 5 different categories. And some of these numbers are going to surprise you. Roster, 5th in the league. That makes sense. Brunson, Towns, Bridges, Anunoby, Hart, that's a legitimate core. Market, 2nd in the NBA. Obviously, it is New York. The market advantage is undeniable. Management, 9th overall. Leon Rose and the front office getting some respect here. But here's where it gets interesting. The 2 categories where everyone thinks the Knicks are doomed. Money, 29th in the league. Yikes, right? That's the salary cap situation everyone talks about. Draft, 27th in the NBA. Again, that's the they have no picks narrative we always hear. But here's the thing. ESPN ranked them 3rd overall, despite those brutal money and draft rankings. That tells you everything you need to know about how valuable their other advantages are, especially their player core. And when you actually dig into their roster construction, something fascinating emerges. The Knicks have actually assembled something that's becoming rare in today's NBA, a roster of players in the heart of their primes who are under contract for the foreseeable future. Look at this. Karl Anthony Towns is the only member of their core 5 who's not under team control through 2027 to 2028 with a player option for that season, and Josh Hart, who's the oldest of this group, and he's just entering his age 30 season. This isn't some aging team trying to squeeze out one last run. This is a core group that can stay together for years. Everyone keeps talking about the Knicks like they're the Lakers with aging superstars who might fall off a cliff at any moment. But that's not what this is. Brunson is 28. Towns is 28. Bridges is 28. Anunoby is 27. This is a team that's going to be in their primes for the next 3 to 4 years. And here's where those bargain extensions for Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges become absolutely crucial. Both guys will still be on below market deals entering 2026 to 2027. That gives New York a pathway to managing the salary cap that nobody's really talking about. Let's talk about this second Apron situation, because I think people are making it out to be way worse than it actually is. Yes, the Knicks are going to bump up against it. Yes, it creates some limitations. But the second Apron isn't the death sentence that people make it out to be. You can dip into it for a year or 2 while dealing with manageable consequences, like not being able to trade your first round pick 7 years into the future. The real penalties only kick in if you cross the second apron in 3 of 5 seasons. And even then, your frozen pick just gets moved to the end of the first round. The Knicks contracts are actually structured to play a cat and mouse game with this threshold. That's the value of having Brunson and Bridges on those deals. They'll have to deal with luxury tax penalties and limited roster building tools if they enter the second apron. But their ability to exit it quickly means those restrictions are only temporary. And ultimately, that's what this comes down to: championship windows. The best way to win a title is to give yourself as many bites at the championship apple as possible. The Knicks have set themselves up for multiple legitimate chances over the next 3 to 4 years. Think about it. How many teams can say they have their entire core locked up through 2027 to 2028, all in their primes with proven playoff experience? That's incredibly rare in today's NBA, where stars are constantly demanding trades and teams are constantly rebuilding. But there is one major question that the Knicks need to answer if they want to maximize this window, and it revolves around Jalen Brunson's role. Last season, Brunson averaged 8.6 minutes of possession time per game, the most in the entire league. In the playoffs, it jumped to 9.2 minutes. Now, Brunson is absolutely elite with the ball in his hands. But for the Knicks offense to hit another gear, it needs to become less predictable. And that means getting Brunson off the ball more often. This isn't about diminishing Brunson's role, it's about evolution. He's actually an exceptional spot-up shooter, ranking in the 99th percentile in points per possession. He's an effective cutter when they use him that way. The key is capitalizing on those skills more often while creating more variety in their offensive attack. What this means is that guys like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are going to need to handle the ball more. We saw flashes of what Anunoby can do as a primary option when Brunson was hurt last season. Bridges brings that versatility and shot-making ability. Now, the Knicks aren't going to have Anunoby and Bridges trading isolation possessions, but they need to find ways to get more out of them through two-man actions with Towns, or even using Brunson as a screener in different sets. And speaking of roster construction, the Knicks are making some interesting moves right now that show they're prioritizing their championship window. They've signed veterans like Landry Shamet, Malcolm Brogdon, and Garrison Matthews to compete for roster spots. And here's what's telling: if they want to keep more than one of these veterans, they'll likely need to move a younger player like Tyler Kolek to create space. That's a win-now mentality, choosing proven veteran production over potential development, which makes perfect sense given their championship timeline. And honestly, the timing might be perfect for this approach. The Eastern Conference is looking weaker than it's been in years. We don't know how the Celtics will look with Tatum being out next season and Jalen Brown with his knee issues, and the Pacers will be without Halliburton, and other contenders have their own issues. The Knicks have a legitimate window here, and they're constructed to take advantage of it. Not just this year, but for the next 3 to 4 years. So when you step back and look at the complete picture, a core group of players in their primes, locked up long-term in the biggest market in basketball, with a front office that's proven they can make moves, suddenly that third place ranking makes perfect sense. Yes, they don't have a ton of draft picks. Yes, their salary cap situation is complicated, but those are problems that contending teams deal with. The Knicks have positioned themselves to be a legitimate championship contender for multiple years, and that's incredibly valuable. The narrative that the Knicks mortgage their future needs to die. They didn't mortgage their future, they invested in it. They identified a championship window and went all in on maximizing it. And now they have a 3 to 4 year runway with their core intact to make it happen. ESPN's ranking isn't some feel-good story for Knicks fans. It's a recognition of what this franchise has actually built: sustained championship contention in the biggest market in basketball. That's exactly what you want your 3-year outlook to look like. As a Knicks fan myself, I am excited to see what this season has in store for us. What do you think about ESPN ranking the Knicks 3rd overall? Are people still underrating what this team has built for the future? And can Brunson successfully evolve his game to unlock this offense's full potential? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to SCM for more sports content. The Knicks championship window is just getting started, and I'll be covering every move they make. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hooping.